Hey, welcome to CoachMikeDavis.com. I'm glad you've stopped by and joined me. It's funny, I went back and when I originally started this website and looked at my About Me video, I realized, wow, was I a beginner. Wow, was it a bit stale. Anyways, my name is Mike Davis. I'm an independent team Beachbody coach, also P90X certified training to help people with one-on-one and group fitness. But just wanted to create this About Me video to kind of give you an idea of who I am, and hopefully we can connect a little bit through visual with the video. So just a couple things just to talk about right away was, growing up I was always kind of one of the larger kids in class. Always had an obesity issue, I guess. Back, 30 some years ago, obesity wasn't a big thing that was out there. But looking back and seeing all the way through high school how I was always one of the bigger kids in school. I wasn't heavily obese, but always was overweight. And it's funny when I look back and look at what the doctors would write in my files. I got all those files one day and read through it, and actually to see the doctors write, when I was a freshman in high school, the words obese. Things that I never saw because those were in the doctor's files, but now that I have seen them, it was like, oh my goodness, wow. Yeah, I was in trouble back then. And just have always dealt with being overweight. It's one of those things, it's not like I was, super heavy, but I've always dealt with food. I guess that's to say has been my comfort thing. Was I would run and eat, and especially once I got my own vehicle, go to McDonald's or Hardee's or whatever and go through the drive-thru and grab as much as you wanted. So with this video, I want to just kind of share that, hey, if you're somebody who's struggling with weight and you're looking to get healthy, I have been there. I've battled with migraines for 25 plus years, and it's something that in this last year I've actually been able to start to conquer, and it took getting healthy. So yeah, so I've been there. How did I start it? How did I start in this whole fitness thing? Well, maybe you were like me when you may have gone to a gym, you got on an elliptical or a treadmill and did some Nautilus machines and thought, I did a good workout, okay? And then that was it. Didn't change how you eat, still drinking pop, all that good stuff. But you weren't seeing any work. But you're thinking, oh, well, I'm working out. Well, I didn't understand the gym. I didn't know what the gym, what was in it, how to use anything. And I didn't have the money to pay for personal training. So I would just go and run or walk or do elliptical stuff and really didn't understand it. Well, it wasn't until a few years ago. I actually had seen an article on TV on our NBC5 site about migraines. And as many of you, if you know me at all, you know that I've suffered with them for quite some time, and when I would get one, I would have to go home from work. I'll talk about disruption of your life, when you're not sure day to day if you're going to get a migraine or not, and when you get those, you have an hour to get home before you get the severe headache and the nauseousness. Just a miserable way to live. Well, I finally heard or saw this article and started to do some running. They talked about obesity and how obesity affected migraines. Now, I've been given all the latest and greatest medicines, all the preventatives, all that good stuff, but nothing seemed to work. So I was like, okay, I've got to take this into my own hands. So that's when I had seen this article and said, okay, I'm not a runner. It was in December of 2010, and I said, okay, December of 2009, that I decided I have got to do something about this. So I picked up what's called the Couch to 5K program. Somebody had shared it with me and loaded it onto my iPod, and on a treadmill started running. Now, many of you know I've had bad knees. I've had surgery since high school, and just running was one of those things that I'm sure many of you were like, yeah, no, Mike, running? No way. Well, that's what I started doing. Started on the treadmill, was dedicated, did that for the 3 months, and by the end of that time, I was able to run a 5K on the treadmill. That was awesome. Then you get outdoors, and if you've ever ran before, the difference from a treadmill to running outside is completely different. But the great thing was I kept going and got my running good. Started in April of 2010, running the Neighbor's House 5K in DeKalb. That was my first one, 32:25. I'll never forget that time. That was my very first run. And that year I did some 5Ks and finished up with a 10K in Sycamore for the pumpkin run. That was my first start to this journey, was running. Kind of one of those things that I never thought I would do. That year I was able to lose 30 pounds just from running and watching what I was eating, but just wasn't as dedicated as I should have been. But by the end of 2010, actually my wife actually found out, she ran the neighbor's house with me, and she also found out at that point in time, after the run, the next day or a couple days, we were pregnant with our first little guy. Great excitement, great joy, excited for that. But I wasn't doing any strength training at that time. And so come December, if you know anything in the Chicago area, it gets cold. And we were working on our basement, trying to get that done before our little guy was to be born at the end of December. Well, when that comes in, the basement was a mess, so the treadmill was put away, wasn't doing any strength training. Yeah, 20 pounds, boom, right back on. And that was just that big thing of like, oh, that big letdown, that heavy sigh of, oh, what have I done? So little guy was born, started a new job in January of 2011, and lots of stress. New baby, new job, tired, 20 pounds heavier. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Well, friends of mine started sharing with my cousin, John, shout out to you, and then a friend of mine, Brian, who they're friends with Amy up in Rockford. They both had shared with me how they were doing P90X. And I'd seen it, heard about it, and probably like many of you, thought, that's not for me. It's too difficult, it's too hard, I can't do that. Well, lo and behold, I go on a trip for my work to DC, and they had a infomercial channel. And yes, guess what was on there? The P90X infomercials and Insanity and all those other ones. But it was dedicated to Beachbody. Watched the P90X probably a dozen times. And finally, by the end of it, I think I finally got hit upside the head hard enough that I needed to do something. I needed to try it. So borrowed some videos from some friends and gave it a try. And came home to my wife and said, April 1, I'm starting this. Gave it a try, started it out. Lo and behold, my first round of doing P90X, I was able to drop 27 pounds. It was an incredible ride. I did the lean version because I was worried about my knees trying to do plyo, and had a great first step. During that time, I also decided that during that year I was going to run a half marathon. Where did that come from? Well, just that competitive edge that's inside of me that I wanted to keep striving ahead. So I did a half marathon. I finished my first round of P90X, then started doing training for the half. Did great training for that. Ran it in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Another time I'll never forget, running the city of Chicago non-stop. It was beautiful weather that day, non-stop, and was able to run the whole thing. I wanted to be under 2:30. I ran it in 2:20. And had never, in any of my training runs, had never been able to go 11 miles in under 2:30. So it was incredible. Just a great journey. Started a second round of P90X. Did the classic version, added in the plyometrics, and wow, the mother of all workouts, plyometrics. But a great workout. The whole program was awesome and just transformed my life. P90X became my workout. It's become my journey. It's the workout that I really love to do, and it's become my home workout, I guess I would call that. It has helped me transform my life, and now have actually gone out and got certified, as I mentioned before at the beginning. I'm now a P90X certified instructor, where I'm able to do one-on-one training as well as group training with individuals. We have a class that's just finishing up next week, our first round, first group of people, two people who finished with 90 days. One person who's lost over 50 pounds and another one just about to lose 30. One guy, one girl. And Mike Katz, shout out to you, who's just about over 50 pounds. And Jennifer, so you're just about over 30. You guys are doing awesome. So it's just been encouraging and been this is a passion of mine to be a part of. So that's why I've created this site, and putting different information out there. As people would say and see me as a trainer, I'm not your typical trainer that you would see who's all fit and buff. And no, I'm still on a journey myself. I'm on a journey to get to under 200 by December 15th. I'm in the Casey Summer Slim Down Challenge, which you're thinking, well, what are you doing in a challenge if you're already teaching? Well, I am on a journey, and I need this encouragement and motivation as well. And your journey just doesn't stop when you've reached your goal. You're continued to motivate, you're you're continuing to encourage, and that's what I'm here for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed the website. If there's anything I can ever do for you or any questions that you might have, you can email me. Hit the contact us button up at the top of the website here and send me your information. I'd love to speak more with you. Again, I have created this site, Become a Beachbody Coach, not because I'm looking to make a bunch of money or that I'm looking to, this is not some type of scam. What this is people who are passionate about helping others. And that's what I am. That's the one thing that this is all about, is that I am very passionate. And I hope you sense that in this video, is that I am here to help you. I am here to assist you, encourage, motivate, anything I can do for you to be successful. Because ultimately, if you're not successful, I'm not successful. So here I am every day. I'm going to be posting on my website under the Journey to 199. Feel free to check that out each day of what I'm doing, because I am on my own journey as well. But when we're on a journey, we're not alone. We're encouraging others. Okay? Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.